What's going on, world? It's your boy Kuya P and my pal Webster Style
What's
from
going
Checkpoint
on?
Squad, Sartorial Geek, K Baby, my good friend, my good pal Webster Style. We recently saw this film Companion from Warner Brothers and New Line Cinema. It's in theaters right now as of this recording. And we're going to kick it off with basically our initial thoughts when we first saw the trailer. We'll check out the trailer. I'll give you a little bit of synopsis on the story, the cast without spoiling, but we may spoil. So just, if
Yeah.
you see the blinker come
It's a
on, I might
review.
throw that on. We'll see. Or if anything, I'll put it at the very end. I'll cut the piece where we're spoiling and I'll put it at the very end. So you can just know that benchmark and you can just hear our thoughts and then save the spoilers for later. But let's talk about initial thoughts when you first saw the trailer for this, my man. I thought it was cool.
Yeah.
It looked dope. How about you?
Yeah, I thought the trailer was cool. When I saw the trailer, I was just thinking, okay, what kind of twist is this going to take? And especially, I think the one scene from the trailer where she has her hand over the fire, seeing that without the context we have now, it just looked like some really crazy mess. Like it was really messed up. So it was like, what is going on here? This looks really, really wild without the context of everything that's going on. So the trailer had me intrigued for this movie, definitely.
Yeah, it was really well put together. Like, I'm gonna kill my boyfriend. Like,
Right.
okay, craziness, insanity, and yeah, it had me hooked. Jack Quaid, who we know from The Boys, uh, awesome on The Boys. Also Sophie Thatcher, we saw her in Heretic before this,
Hmm.
with Hugh Grant. She's done some other work before as well, and I think you and I both said as well. We uh, feel like we're seeing a lot more of these Cyberdyne robotic
Yeah, yeah,
AI type films of late because we had
right,
Megan Fox in Subservience,
right.
who you know Megan Fox robot any day, all day.
That's another
Um,
conversation.
that's another conversation, and maybe one we'll go back into later when we get into the review.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's been these robot Terminator type movies of late, and also as we're getting more into AI, and that's
Yeah,
becoming
and there's
really more of a
another one
thing.
out too, a series on Netflix now. I forget Caroline or something like that. That's out too. AI, artificial intelligence. So it's a lot of these themes are coming up now. Obviously, more so because of the times we live in, as this sort of technology. Maybe not the actual robot parts, but if you watch footage from CES, that stuff isn't that far away. But the it's not that far away. So it's sci-fi. If anything, it's a good way of sort of tackling those issues that we're having in our discourse. And we've seen this all the way back in the day, something as far back as Day of the Dead, or excuse me, Dawn of the Dead, shopping, consumerism,
Yeah.
science fiction, horror have been very good sort of social commentary.
Yeah, exactly. Horror films has always
Vehicles.
had social
Yeah.
commentary and on politics and everything like
Yeah.
that. So, all you red MAGA hat cats out there, we've always been woke here in cinema. Anyway,
That's true.
let's go into the trailer and we'll get into our thoughts on Companion. Let's go. Here we go.
Okay.
There have been two moments in my life when I was happiest. The first was the day I met Josh.
I love the throw off with the notebook.
I'm Josh.
Oh, it's going to be a sweet
I'm
movie.
Iris. And the second,
Exactly.
the day I killed him.
And now we get wicked.
Just relax. Remember to smile and act happy. Do they know? Iris, wake up.
What are you doing? Shut her down already.
What is she talking about, Josh?
This was not part of the plan.
I didn't mean to.
Did you jailbreak your sex bot?
Wow, Josh. The days of you controlling me are over.
Are you breaking up with me?
It's not you. It's me.
Yeah, she's tied up inside, so she's not going anywhere.
Eli, Iris. Shh, baby.
You're on the phone.
such a great
It's
trailer.
so funny watching this now, actually seeing the movie.
Yeah.
Like, because when we watched this, I think Brian and I watched this and react to it. I didn't even pay attention to the money. I was on the whole robot. That totally like was not my focus of watching this trailer. Now knowing everything, I was like literally everything's laid out there once you already know what's up.
Yeah. And so really well put together as a
Yeah,
trailer to
very
provoke
well
you,
put together.
not giving you away the whole story. Kind of gives you the synopsis there, the characters. It grabs you, and I love the throw off from the producers of the Notebook. Oh, that's such a beautiful,
Right.
sweet movie. And then the Barbarian. Have you ever seen the Barbarian, dude?
I haven't.
You need to see the
I'm
Barbarian.
aware, but I haven't.
Check out the Barbarian. It's
Okay.
bloody, it's crazy, it's wild. Go see the Barbarian. Recommend
Okay.
y'all. Maybe we'll have. You know what? Once Webster Style sees the Barbarian, we'll come back and we'll do a review with Barbarian. If you're down.
Yeah.
All right. So there you go. That's the trailer for Companion. I'm gonna break down a little bit on the story, give you a little bit more added value, give you the cast now as well, and then me and Webster Style will break down our thoughts, our full review on Companion. So real quick, writer director Drew Hancock is kind of like the main crew side of things in regards to writing and directing. Shout out to the entire DP. Let me also get this out the way because it takes a village. As a fellow filmmaker myself, it takes a village to make this. We're gonna highlight like the stars and the writer director, but there's a whole bunch of grips. There's the drivers, there's catering, there's the camera people, there's DPs, there's a whole slew of people that gives us this beautiful film. So shout out to the entire cast and crew. It takes a village, and all our love and respect to everybody on the team. But writer director Drew Hancock, stars of this: Jack Quaid that you saw, who plays Josh; Sophie Thatcher, who plays Iris. We have Lukas Gage as Patrick, Megan Suri as Kat, Harvey Guillén as Eli, Rupert Friend as Sergey, Matt McCarthy as Sid, Woody Fu as Mateo, Jabuki Young White as Teddy, Mark Menchaca as Deputy Hendricks, Ashley Lambert as Josh's car, and again, a slew of others. We're just highlighting some of the main folks on here. That's your cast, your crew. The story, as you saw, we have this woman, or who you see is this woman in this, supermarket of sorts. Basically, this is kind of a snapshot of how these two people met. But you come to find out as you watch this film, the two quote unquote lovebirds are on a trip. But as they're on this trip, you find out that she's actually a robot, an android. And she's a love bot, if you will, for Jack Quaid's character, and is being used as a pawn for a certain scheme that occurs throughout this film, which then leads to a hunt between Jack Quaid's character and Sophie Thatcher's character and a host of others. Yeah, so it's wild. It's there's murder involved, there's money involved, there's other people involved, there's other bots involved. It's a sci-fi thriller that just kind of touches on all notes. And yeah, I think I did a pretty good. Did I did an okay job of giving the story away without giving the story away?
Yes.
Awesome. All right, so there you go. That's your cast, your crew. Brief synopsis, expanding on the story. Let's have some fun now, Webster Style. After you watched this film, you and I both walked out the theater. What are your thoughts? What did you think?
It's weird. Like, I liked it, but I didn't love it.
Okay.
It was, and again, I'm not saying it was. I hate it because now it's like, oh, you gotta you gotta love something, or you dislike. I'm like, no, I didn't love it. Like, oh my god, it was like, no, it wasn't. I think for me, when I came out of theater, it was more or less like I was a bit discombobulated emotionally because the trailer kind of had you set up one way, and then you watch the movie, and there's so much else there. So you're trying to process because with any movie, you come in kind of expecting certain things. Like for instance, let's say Nosferatu. Nosferatu, I saw the trailer. I got what I expected when I walked into the movie theater when I saw that movie. With this one, I didn't get everything I expected. I got so much more. So I was trying to process that. Like I said, I liked the movie. I thought it was particularly well done. There are some things that we talked about as well that I think kind of took me out of it, just more so the pacing. But I like the twists and turns. I like their reveals that came along that you didn't see coming. And that's what I like, because it wasn't paint by numbers, and at least with a lot of the twists and turns, you didn't see them coming. With the end, since it was always telegraphed, like I killed my boyfriend, like you knew she was going to kill him. So that part was pretty much well known how it was going to end. And partially, I think that's a detriment to the film. I think understanding that, you know who's going to win. So there's no drama in that third act, because you know how it's going to turn out. Now, and again, more I think about, I think that's what it is. At the end of the day, I had a hard time with it because I knew she was going to win. So I think to some degree that third act, a lot of the drama and tension, you're taken out of it because you know she's going to win.
Interesting. All right. For me, I was somewhat discombobulated like you. And actually, guys, you'll see at the end of this review, you'll see our initial thoughts of both myself and Webster Style coming out of the theater, recording basically a quick minute of our thoughts coming out. So you'll have the real authentic initial thoughts coming out right there. But having it sat with me a little bit, for me, I just remember really enjoying it. Webster Style. I'm sure we'll get into some more negative, and I want to try and find some negative, and also our biggest positives out of it to close this out. But I would have to slightly disagree with you. In regards to you saying that you knew the ending, which we did, it gives it away in the trailer. We know it's going to happen, the end result, but I think it was the journey that got me there that was satisfying, despite knowing. Because we don't always get the ending. They don't, or at least they try not to tell us the ending with these trailers. And a lot of movies, you never don't want to know the ending. Here we knew the ending going in, but it was how the fuck did we get here, and why?
I can see that.
And I think for me, I appreciated that because we got more twists and turns. Oh, she's a robot. Oh, this story we saw. I'm trying to avoid spoilers. Was some other thing. Shit, we're talking robots, implanted memories, and all of that. I think my biggest complaints, and then let's I guess since we're let's go into negatives, and then we'll talk into favorite parts. What I found weird for me, okay, if we're ordering an android robot, much love to Sophie Thatcher, my robot would look more like Megan Fox or somebody different. I love Sophie Thatcher is a very beautiful woman, very sweet, but was just very common, normal, and maybe that's why they went with a very normal, average-looking person as the robot, and maybe that's Jack Quaid's kink,
maybe,
but it just threw me off as a sex bot type robot, normal, that I would have. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
What say you, Webster Style?
I would agree in that. I didn't think about it that way, but yeah, if I am purchasing a companion and I get to dictate how they look, no disrespect to Sophie Thatcher, that is not how I would have my companion looking, personally speaking. And I would think that many out there would, if you're going to pay, you're going to be
maybe it's the type of model. Maybe in this future alternate universe, you have to pay for the extra booty or the extra.
Maybe, but you think you want to go a bit. If you're not dealing in real life, you're gonna, go a bit extreme if you can. But no, I agree with that. I think that just. But you know what though, from that aspect, I agree. But I think her character and her physique, it's that unassuming, mousy sort of demeanor, and that I think works very well to how her character evolves over the film also, especially with the first instance, this contrast between her character and after the incident on the beach, like in how she looks. I don't think that would play as well if she was a Megan Fox type of built woman or something. I think that directly works in contrast with her character. So in that regards, I understand why they did it. My biggest issue with this whole movie probably was pacing a little bit. I felt like sometimes it was just a slog to get from point A to point B in some of the aspects. Like I always famously say, yeah, you can cut like 10 minutes out of this movie, not this movie specifically, but I was like, yeah, you can cut 10 to 15 minutes out of this movie and it will run a little faster. I don't know if I could necessarily say that because the movie wasn't overly long. I just think some of the decisions as far as pacing of scenes kind of took me out of it at some points in time. But that's really my only negative to this. And not even this part isn't even a negative. It's and this is me. You know Jack Quaid from The Boys. All I hear is Boimler from not first contact, from Lower Decks in my head every time he talks. But that worked for me with his transition of his character and how I hated him so much and wanted him dead by the time
Yeah.
everything ended. Like he became this slime ball.
Oh yeah.
And I think
Big asshole.
my knowledge of him even outside of that helped me root for his death.
You definitely do. You definitely do. He becomes such a slime ball.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see somewhat of the pacing, but again, like you said, it wasn't too long. There,
Right.
again, as we started it off, and coming out, and and having it sat with me for a while. Now we're recording our review.
Right.
I enjoyed the movie. It was
Yeah.
weird. It was crazy. It's everything
Yes.
that we felt from the trailer, or at least for me, speaking for me. And I definitely want to see it again. What are your favorite parts of the film? I love the notion that it brings up, and actually, I'll close that for our closeout question. But I thought the characters were well cast.
Yes, I do agree with that.
It was an interesting mix of people, and
Yes.
but it becomes clear. I think that was the one negative that I initially had watching in the moment of the film. Why would these two people, this couple, meet up with this Russian guy? Okay, we got the one weird friend. Okay, that's interesting. But why are we still with this Russian guy and this other woman? It just was an odd pairing all the way throughout. But then
Right.
it obviously,
It
when you
makes
watch the
sense.
film, it makes
Yeah.
sense.
So
But
yeah, I think casting was great.
yeah.
I really in the other couple, they were perfect together.
Yes.
When you talk about if you had to pick somebody, that guy would pick the other guy. That made perfect sense.
Yeah, yeah.
So and they worked well together. And what I like too, and not giving too much away, people die in this movie. Let's let you know. You never saw anybody's death coming. And I like that too. You never saw that deaths coming. So everything kind of got you from left field as the movie was going.
Definitely. Agreed. And I think before I throw this last question that we kind of threw at each other as we got done and we were just kind of chatting. I like this universe. This is a
Yeah.
weird, without spoiling, what happens. Well, we already know she wins at the end, but I would like to see where it goes from here. If there would be a companion too, or just something set in this universe, because I think there's some interesting stories we could tell if they were to go back into this. This is probably just a one-off film, but it's an interesting universe where this whole thing is set, and I'd be curious, and I'd like to see what Drew Hancock, the writer-director, could do if they were given a part two.
Right.
I don't know how well it's doing in the theater right now, but I'm recommending it. I enjoyed it.
Yeah,
How about you?
what you said was very good, very well said, because I would be interested to see, since these sort of companions are so commonplaces, that's what the movie makes you feel. What does how does that world really view relationships? How does that world view marriage, child rearing, all those things that are very much intertwined with being together with someone? Now you can literally rent what you want for a certain time frame or buy, and you don't need another person in that regard. You very much get what you want. So what does that do to that world as far as how people interact, how people couple, if that's the case? That is fascinating to me, and I would love to see a more of a deeper dive into that world in that regard.
Exactly. Completely agree. I would love to see a part two of this. So that actually begs to go into the question that I posed Webster style as we got done. If we were living in a world like this, pause for a second. Oh, I'm back. I had a little bit of disruption on my internet real quick. You see me
Okay.
all right, web style?
Yeah, I see you fine. Nothing
All
happened
right.
on my end.
Okay, cool. If we were to have this happen in the real world, and we were not to be judged, would you have a companion bot? Would you, if you were single like my man, or even in a happy marriage and it was cool with your significant other, your
Yes, that's a
spouse,
yes.
would
That's
you
an
do it?
absolute
So
yes. Yes. Look,
speak it, man.
look. I love the opposite sex. I love the opposite sex. As is sometimes though. you just you just want what you want. And I only mean sexually, you just want what you want.
Yeah.
And having an outlet to get that is enticing also for women as well. You know,
Yeah.
we
And would you be okay?
sometimes
So
we
say you would have one, and she's like, I want
Mhm.
one too. You're good with that?
Yeah, why wouldn't I be?
There we go. I love this. I love this
Well, look,
energy.
I think something like that could cut down on infidelity. Think about it. You can change faces, change parts, and like you like there's a whole lot of things that you can do in that scenario to explore together and individually.
Let's go. I love this energy. I love this
Right.
energy because I think people would.
Yeah.
And I love the question that this starts, and we see it be portrayed throughout the film that why not in different matters, you know what I'm saying? It's
Mhm.
very interesting, and what's wild is we are heading that way. If you've seen the channel, myself and Webster Style, we've gone to Exotica. We've
Mhm.
done some background videos. There's certain kind of things that they have there that aren't too
Yep.
far removed from this. And
Right.
as this technology move forward, I wouldn't be surprised. And it's going
And
to be very interesting.
those
I'm looking
X
forward to the day
robots,
Webster Style and I interview an AI
right?
companion
Whatever.
robot
Yeah.
at Exotica.
Yep.
And
It's
I don't
coming.
think that's I think, bro, I think we could probably see that within the next 10 years. I'm calling it. February 12th, 2025. By 2035, Webster Style and I will be talking to a companion
Bro,
robot.
I say 5.
Ooh, even juicier.
Look, maybe not a full robot, but at least like a torso or something, talking hits something.
Yeah.
I look, because we already at that part where we have the individual parts there. We've
Yeah.
already seen other stuff in other avenues where you have the heads and the bodies and the talking and whatnot. I don't think that convergence is too far on now. Full autonomous walking, talking, looking like Sophie Thatcher, we're probably far away from that. But with what I ain't trying to say his name, but you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
That guy over there, what he's doing in his one of his companies, and what other people are doing, I see that convergence happening real fast because all that's moving really fast.
Exactly. It's crazy.
Yeah,
I just hope to the overlords Cyberdyne, I'm
right,
Siri, Alexa, we're pals. I've always been nice
right,
to you.
right,
Please.
exactly.
And Alexa's talking to me right now in my other room. She hears me. Love you, girl. It's crazy. But final thoughts. Do you recommend Companion, sir?
I recommend it. I am torn if I would say go see it in the theater or wait for streaming. I don't think I think it was really good on the screen. Especially the climax that we were talking. It reminds me of those, how can I put it? DV movies where the woman is had enough and they fight back, and that's what it reminds me of. So with a cybernetic twist. So I get that. I'm torn if I should say see it in the theater or not. I don't think you'll be disappointed. I just don't know if it's needed. But I do think that wherever you watch it, you'll enjoy it.
I feel that. And especially because, it's expensive to go to the theater every now and then for certain folks out there in the community. So respect, understand there. But if I'm giving it a recommendation to see with your friends, mature friends and family
Right.
at the theater, because it's that kind of a vibe movie that you'll have fun with.
Okay.
There's
Yeah,
certain
you will
movies
have fun with it.
definitely
I agree.
see it at home, because most movies you can see at home. It's not all action packed. Just, straight up. It doesn't provoke you to see it at the theater. This one I say
Right.
see it at the theater because you can see it with a bunch of folks. It's,
Okay.
and have a good time. It's a good time type of fun horror movie, sci-fi horror type joint.
Right.
So
Okay.
there you go. Those are our thoughts. on Companion, Webster Style. My brother, always appreciate you. What you got going on so that people can check you out?
Let's see. My last interviews from PAX have gone up. So Check Games Edition are up. Floodgate Games are up. Also, I had an interview with Chris Classic from Cyberpunk Fragrances for Black on Fragrance Week. So you can find that currently on my Instagram, but I'm actually cutting a video now to put that up on YouTube and as a podcast. And then also episode 183 of the Sartorial Geek podcast is out on all platforms with Miss Valentine's Day. So I went for the kink, the kink realm with my interview with Sir Lee's I had a couple weeks ago. So checked out, might find some new tips for you and your significant other this Valentine's Day.
There you go. Check out my brother Webster Style. All of his links will be in the description below. Also here on the NRW, he's on Kayfabe Baby. He's on the Checkpoint. All of our other stuff. He's NRW official, but he also does his own thing. That's my brother Webster Style. All the love to you, sir. I'm Quee P. You're on NRW. You see everything too. I'm doing. We putting in work. Thank you for checking out this review. We'll have more coming out soon, and hopefully me and my brother Webster Style will rack up a few more because we clocked in on Barbarian. You need to go see Barbarian, sir.
Okay.
All right, there you go.
I'll find it somewhere.
That's Companion. I'm Quee P. That's Webster Style. We out.
Peace.
All right, brother. What's up, y'all? It's your boy QP, Nerds Rule the World. Just got out of a screening of Companion with my boy Webster Style.
What's going on?
What are your thoughts coming out of the joint, man?
It's not what I expected. Not what I expected. It definitely was a new twist on some old tropes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, would you give it a thumbs up, thumbs down?
Yeah, definitely thumbs up.
Without the review yet.
Oh, no, definitely thumbs up. It was enjoyable, entertaining, familiar, but different at the same time.
I agree. Different from the commercial, the trailer, excuse me. But very pleasantly surprised. At first, I was like, what's going on when the film started jumping off?
Right.
But then it gets into that second gear, and then it gets crazy. We're going to have a full review. Your boy, Kuya P, my man, Webster Style, Nerds Rule the World.